Struggle. It's a word that carries weight. It's not romantic. It's not elegant. It's not something we wish for. And yet, it's the very ground where greatness begins. No masterpiece has ever been born without a mess. No mountain has ever been climbed without aching feet. And no dream has ever come true without the sting of sacrifice. Struggle is not the enemy. It's the signal, the indicator that you are on the path of growth. And if you can endure it, if you can walk through it instead of running away, you'll come out the other side stronger, clearer, and more capable than ever before. This is part 1 of your journey, not just a story about fighting through pain, but an invitation to reframe the struggle, not as punishment, but as preparation. Chapter 1. Why struggle is a sign you're on the right path. Most people believe that if something is hard, it must not be meant for them. They assume that struggle means resistance from the universe. But often, the opposite is true. When you're struggling, it means you're stretching beyond your comfort zone. You're in the ring, you're in motion, you're confronting the parts of yourself that want to quit. The truth is, if it's not hard, you're probably not growing. Comfort feels good, but it kills progress. Growth happens in discomfort. The pain of trying and failing is what makes success feel earned. Struggle is not a wall blocking your way. It's the tool that chisels your potential into something real. When you hit that first roadblock, that moment when you want to quit, understand that it's not a stop sign. It's an invitation. Keep moving. One more step. Chapter 2. Everyone you admire has fought a silent battle. We look at champions and see the spotlight. We see their medals, their wealth, their influence. But we rarely see their battle scars. Behind every victory is a trail of tears, doubts, sleepless nights, and rejection. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. They didn't arrive at success. They walked through a battlefield of setbacks to get there. If you're struggling, you're not broken. You're being built. Chapter 3. The struggle builds you before it rewards you. Imagine planting a seed. You water it, nurture it, and wait. Days go by and there's nothing. No sign of growth. It's tempting to dig it up and assume it's dead. But underground, things are happening. Roots are forming. A foundation is being built. That's how life works. Struggle is the unseen labor beneath the surface. It's the time when you feel like nothing is working. But it's actually where your deepest strength is forming. Your patience, your discipline, your grit. They're being forged in the fire. Most people quit during this phase. They stop watering the seed just before it breaks through the soil. But those who persist, those who take one more step, they get to witness the bloom. Chapter 4. You don't grow when you avoid pain. You grow when you face it. We live in a world that avoids pain at all costs. Numb it, escape it, distract from it. But pain has a purpose. It's feedback. It's your inner compass telling you that something matters. That something inside you needs to be awakened. When you sit with your struggle instead of running from it, something powerful happens. You begin to grow roots. You develop resilience. You become unshakable. Growth is never painless. But the pain you feel today becomes the strength you stand on tomorrow. Chapter 50. Struggle is the filter that separates the dreamers from the doors. Everyone has dreams. But only a few have the courage to endure the pain required to bring those dreams to life. Struggle is the gate you must pass through. It asks one question. How bad do you want this? And the only valid answer is action. You'll face fear. You'll battle doubt. You'll question your worth. And yet, if you keep walking, one step at a time, you'll cross over into a life that most only fantasize about. Not because you were lucky, but because you didn't give up. Chapter 60. Your struggle is preparing you to carry the weight of success if you were handed success today. The money, the fame, the responsibilities. Without the struggle that builds your character, it would crush you. Struggle teaches humility. It teaches you to respect the process. It trains you to carry the weight with wisdom. The version of you that begins the journey is not the one that can handle the prize. You must become someone stronger, wiser, more disciplined. That's the work of the struggle. Success is not about arrival. It's about who you become on the way there. Chapter 70. Struggle isn't personal. It's universal. When you're in pain, it feels like the world is against you. Like you're the only one falling apart while everyone else is moving forward. But listen closely. No one escapes struggle. Every person you pass is fighting something you can't see. Loneliness, rejection, failure, self-doubt. Pain doesn't discriminate. And in knowing that, you can draw strength. You're not alone in this fight. You're part of a silent army of strivers. Some are ahead of you, some behind, but all walking the same uphill road. Keep going. You're not the only one who's tired, but you may be the one who chooses not to stop. Chapter 80, you have come too far to quit now. Look back. Think about everything you've survived. Every dark night, every tear, every time you thought you couldn't go on. And yet, here you are. That's not weakness. That's resilience. Struggle didn't destroy you. It forged you. So when the next wave of hardship hits, and it will, remind yourself of one thing. I've been through worse. And I'm still standing. Take a breath. Take one more step. The journey isn't over yet. Conclusion. Struggle is the training ground of destiny. You don't choose when the struggle comes, but you do choose how you respond. You can curse it, hide from it, blame others, or you can rise. One step, one breath, one choice at a time. This is not the end. It's not even close. This is the beginning of something extraordinary. Let the struggle shape you. Let it teach you. Let it build you. Because on the other side of that pain is the person you were always meant to become. Resilience is not about smiling through pain. It's not pretending you're fine when you're falling apart. Resilience is the quiet decision you make in the middle of chaos. I won't let this break me. It's the fire in your gut when everything says, stop, and you whisper, not yet. Everyone talks about winning, but no one talks about enduring. And yet, endurance is what separates the successful from the forgotten. Not brilliance, not luck, not connections, but resilience. The courage to stand tall even when your world is collapsing. This part of the journey isn't about talent, it's about toughness. This is your invitation to stand back up, bruised and tired, but unbroken. Chapter 14. Resilience begins where comfort ends. We all crave ease. We love routines that don't challenge us, people who don't question us, and days that don't shake us. But comfort rarely builds character. Comfort makes you soft. It robs you of your edge. And most dangerously, it lies to you, telling you this is enough. Resilience starts the moment life gets uncomfortable. When your plans fall apart. When your energy runs dry. When you feel alone in the fight. That's when your inner warrior wakes up. That's where the real journey begins. Not in the sunshine, but in the storm. Chapter 2a. The bounce back factor. Everyone falls. Everyone fails. Everyone breaks. But resilience isn't about avoiding the fall. It's about bouncing back. You will get knocked down. You will hear no. You will lose people, miss opportunities, and face heartbreak. But if you have the strength to rise, again and again, you will win. Resilience is the bounce. The refusal to stay on the floor. The belief that no matter how hard you've been hit, your spirit still has more to give. Every champion has this trait. Not perfect, not fearless, just committed to rising. Chapter 3. Then emotional resilience. Mastering the inner storm. Your greatest battles aren't external. They're inside your mind. It's the voice that says you're not good enough. The whisper that says, what's the point? The haunting regret of past failures. The anxiety about what's next. Emotional resilience is the ability to face these storms without collapsing. It's the choice to sit with your fear and not let it dictate your decisions. It's learning to hold your ground when the waves come crashing and still choose progress. You are not your feelings. You are the one who rises in spite of them. Chapter 40. Building mental toughness. One choice at a time. Mental toughness doesn't arrive overnight. It's built in small moments. When you choose to get out of bed, when you go to the gym after a long day, when you show up even when no one is watching. Every time you do what's hard and choose discipline over comfort, you grow your resilience muscle. And one day, when life throws something massive your way, you'll realize you're not as weak as you once thought. You've been training for this, quietly, relentlessly. That's the beauty of resilience. It's built in the dark. Chapter 5. Failures are not final. They're feedback. We treat failure like a period, when it's really just a comma, a pause, a lesson. Resilient people don't crumble when they fail. They reflect, they extract the lesson, and they pivot. Failure doesn't mean you're done. It means you're in the game. If you weren't trying, you wouldn't be failing. And if you're failing, it means you're still fighting. Let every failure refine you, not define you. Chapter 60. The myth of motivation. Why discipline wins. Motivation is unreliable. It's a mood, and moods are fleeting. But resilience doesn't depend on motivation. It depends on discipline, doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. Some days, you'll wake up fired up. Other days, you'll feel empty. But if you've built the discipline of showing up regardless, you'll keep moving forward. That's resilience in action. Not waiting to feel ready, but acting in spite of doubt. Chapter 7. The power of patience in pain. Resilience is not just about strength, it's about patience. It's knowing that just because something is hard now doesn't mean it will stay that way forever. Pain is temporary, but giving up makes it permanent. Can you endure the season you're in without rushing the result? Can you trust that your effort will pay off, even when the reward isn't visible? Resilient people don't rush the process. They honor it. They walk when they can't run. They crawl when they can't walk. But they never stop moving. Chapter 80. Keep moving, even with a broken heart sometimes. Resilience is not about goals or dreams. It's about survival. It's about keeping your head above water when life breaks your heart. Loss, betrayal, grief, trauma, these aren't things you overcome in a week. They don't just disappear. But resilience whispers, just hold on. It doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks for one more breath, one more step. Some days getting out of bed is an act of victory. And that counts. That matters. Chapter 9. Resilience is a choice, not a trait. You're not born with resilience. You choose it. You build it. Day by day. Fight by fight. It's not something only the strong have. It's something you grow through your battles. No matter how weak you feel, no matter how many times you've failed, resilience is still available to you. Right now. It begins with a choice. I won't give up on me. Chapter 100. You are stronger than you know. You've survived 100% of your worst days. Think about that. You've been through things you thought would break you. And here you are, reading these words, still breathing, still trying. That's not weakness. That's evidence of resilience. Even when you didn't feel strong, you were strong. Sometimes, we don't realize how powerful we are until we look back. You've climbed mountains you never thought you could. And there are more ahead. But you've already proven you can keep going. Conclusion. Keep walking. Even when the path isn't clear, life won't always make sense. The road will twist. Plans will fall apart. But the journey is still worth taking. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step. Even when you're scared. Even when it hurts. Even when no one else believes in you. Resilience is the decision to walk forward, no matter what. This is not the end of your story. It's just a rough chapter. And the only thing you need to do now is take one more step. Discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't post about itself. But quietly, behind the scenes, it's the force turning average people into extraordinary achievers. You don't need more motivation. You don't need perfect conditions. You need discipline. The commitment to show up even when you don't feel like it. The decision to keep your promises to yourself. The courage to do what's right over what's easy. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your results. It's not always glamorous, but it's always worth it. Chapter 1Z. Why discipline beats talent. The world is full of talented people who never made it, and it's full of disciplined people who did. Talent might open the door, but only discipline keeps you in the room. Because talent can fade. Talent can get lazy. But discipline shows up on cold mornings, through broken hearts, and under pressure. If you had to choose between being talented and being disciplined, choose discipline every time. It's the slow, steady path to greatness. Chapter 20Z. The daily decision to win. Discipline is not a one-time act. It's not a grand gesture. It's a daily decision. Every morning you decide, will I snooze or rise? Every meal you choose fuel or junk? Every night you pick, scroll or study. It's in these tiny, forgettable moments that your future is being built. No one sees the choices you make in silence, but they will see the results in public. Chapter 30E. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a system. Motivation is seasonal. It comes and goes. One day you're fired up. The next day you're drained. That's why the most successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Systems are habits, routines, non-negotiables. You don't brush your teeth only when you feel like it. You just do it. That's how success should work too. Discipline makes success automatic. Chapter 4A. The discipline to say no. Discipline isn't just about doing more. It's also about doing less of what doesn't serve you. Say no to distractions. Say no to people who drain you. Say no to habits that keep you stuck. Every no you say to the wrong things creates space for the right ones. Discipline is not punishment. It's protection from your own worst impulses. Chapter 50. Train your mind like a muscle. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And discipline is one of the toughest workouts. You start by resisting small urges. Don't check your phone. Don't skip the workout. Don't quit early. Over time, your mental strength grows. Your focus sharpens. Your will becomes unshakable. You begin to trust yourself. And that is power. Chapter 60. Discipline in the dark. The world celebrates results. The medals, the trophies, the wealth. But those are just the visible rewards of invisible work. Discipline happens in the dark, when no one is watching, when there's no applause, when you're tired and uncertain, but you show up anyway. That's when real champions are made. Chapter 7 made. It's boring. And that's the point. Discipline is not exciting. It's repetitive. It's mundane. It's showing up and doing the same thing over and over, even when you're not getting immediate results. But that's exactly what makes it powerful. Success is not built on excitement. It's built on consistency. The greatest performers in the world mastered boredom. They practiced the same move, the same lines, the same technique thousands of times. Mastery loves monotony, and discipline embraces it. Chapter 8a, self-respect comes from self-control. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-respect rises. Discipline isn't just about external rewards. It's about internal dignity. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing, I didn't give up. I stayed true. Lack of discipline breeds guilt, shame, regret. But discipline breeds pride, not ego, but a quiet sense of honor. Your life becomes lighter when your habits align with your values. Chapter 9c, discipline is freedom. It sounds like a paradox, but it's true. Discipline doesn't imprison you. It frees you. When you have discipline, you're not ruled by cravings, chaos, or other people's demands. You control your time. You direct your energy. You own your path. Freedom is not the absence of rules. It's the ability to live by the right ones. And the most powerful freedom is self-mastery. Chapter 20. The compound effect of consistency. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly today. It's about doing something consistently over time. Read 10 pages a day. That's 650 pages a year. Work out for 30 minutes a day. That's 180 hours a year. Save 10 a day. That's $3.50 a year. Tiny disciplines stacked daily lead to massive transformation. Your future isn't built in a weekend. It's built brick by brick through disciplined action. Chapter 11, time discipline in relationships, finances, and emotions. Discipline isn't just for fitness and career. It touches every part of your life. In relationships, it's the discipline to listen, forgive, and communicate. In finances, it's the discipline to save, invest, and avoid unnecessary debt. In emotions, it's the discipline to respond, not react. To breathe instead of explode. Every area of life improves when discipline enters the room. Chapter 12, what to do when you slip. You will mess up. You will miss days. You will fall short. Discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It means coming back, recommitting, resetting, realigning. A slip isn't a failure unless you stay down. The strongest people are not those who never fall. They're the ones who rise quickly. Forgive yourself, get back up, keep walking. Chapter 13, protect the first hour. Win the day. Your morning sets the tone. If you control the first hour, you take command of your mindset, your energy, and your priorities. Don't give your morning to social media, emails, or stress. Instead, move your body. Feed your mind. Plan your day. Win the morning and you stack momentum. And momentum is the fuel discipline loves most. Chapter 14, build an identity around discipline. Don't just try to be disciplined. Become the kind of person who is. Say to yourself, I am someone who keeps my word. I am someone who shows up, no matter how I feel. I am someone who finishes what I start. When discipline becomes part of your identity, consistency becomes effortless. It's no longer what you do, it's who you are. Chapter 15, one more rep, one more page, one more step. When you're tired, your discipline whispers, one more rep, one more phone call, one more chapter, one more step. That's where the magic happens. Not in the first 10, but in the last painful one. Discipline turns ordinary people into legends by pushing them one step beyond comfort. Conclusion, discipline is your superpower. You don't need more talent. You don't need perfect timing. You just need the will to keep showing up. Discipline is your superpower. It doesn't flash or shout, but it wins. Quietly, relentlessly. And when the world sees your results, they'll call you lucky. But you'll know the truth. You were disciplined. You were consistent. You were unshackable. And that made all the difference. Take a deep breath, get up tomorrow, and take one more step. There will be moments in your life when everything seems dark. The path ahead is unclear, the progress is invisible, and the results you dreamed of feel out of reach. This is where most people quit. But not you. Because in your heart, there is something greater than logic, faith. Faith is believing before it makes sense. Faith is moving forward when there's no evidence yet. Faith is trusting that every step, even the hard ones, is taking you somewhere meaningful. You don't have to know how the story ends. You just have to believe enough to take one more step. Chapter 20. The invisible strength. Faith is invisible, but it's not imaginary. It's not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It's the decision to believe anyway, even when the world gives you every reason not to. You can't see the seeds growing underground, but they're still growing. You can't see the muscles forming on day one of your workout, but they're forming. You can't see the impact of your work in real time, but it's happening. Faith is the strength to keep building what you can't yet see. Chapter 2I, when logic fails, faith leads. Logic has limits. It wants numbers, proof, guarantees. But life doesn't always give you that. Sometimes you have to leap before you know where you'll land. Faith doesn't ignore reality. It expands beyond it. It says, yes, this is hard. Yes, I'm scared, but I will still move. Great things are never built on certainty. They're built on belief, and belief is born in the unknown. Chapter 3, the most important time to believe is when you least feel like it. Faith is easy when everything is going well. When results are showing, people are clapping, progress is clear. But real faith kicks in when nothing makes sense. When doors close, when prayers go unanswered, when the road disappears. It's in these seasons that your belief is tested and built. You either let fear dictate your next move, or you take one more step fueled by the fire within. Chapter 40, faith isn't passive. It demands action. Faith is not sitting still and hoping for the best. Faith moves. Faith works. Faith shows up. Even when you don't feel ready, even when you don't have all the answers, you act because you trust that every step matters, even the messy ones. Faith without action is just fantasy, but faith in motion, that changes everything. Chapter 50, believe bigger. We often pray for small things because we think that's all we deserve. We dream modest dreams because we're scared to be disappointed. But faith dares to believe bigger. What if you're capable of more than you've imagined? What if your dream is just the beginning? What if everything you've survived was preparing you for something massive? You don't serve your future by shrinking. Stand tall. Believe wide. Stretch your faith. Chapter 60, faith isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper. Faith doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the faint voice that says, try again. It's not about shouting affirmations or pretending you're invincible. It's about holding on quietly, day after day, through tears, doubts, and silence. When no one's watching, whispers of faith build the loudest victories. Chapter 7, the finish line isn't your job. The next step is you don't need to know the full plan. You don't need to see 5 years ahead. You don't need to have it all figured out. All you need is clarity on your next right step and the courage to take it. Faith trusts that if you take that one step, the next one will appear, and then the next, and then the path. Your job is the step. The outcome is God's. Chapter 80. Protecting your faith from fear. Fear will always try to drown your faith. It speaks in what ifs. What if I fail? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not good enough? But faith answers back, what if this works? What if you were born for this? What if everything is lining up for your breakthrough? You can't silence fear completely, but you can choose which voice to follow. Choose faith. Chapter 9. Faith strengthens you when you're alone. There will be seasons where no one claps. No one understands your journey. People may doubt you, laugh at you, leave you. In those moments, you'll be tempted to shrink, to give up. But remember, your faith doesn't require an audience. Your belief in your calling, your worth, your purpose, that's your anchor. You don't need them to believe in you. You just need you to. Chapter 100. Miracles begin with movement. Faith unlocks miracles, but only when it's paired with movement. The business doesn't grow until you launch. The book doesn't change lives until you write. The breakthrough doesn't come until you show up again. You can pray, you can journal, you can hope, but at some point, you have to move. Take the step and watch the world rise to meet you. Chapter 11. Keep faith when nothing's changing. This is the hardest part of faith, when you're doing everything right, but nothing is changing. You're working. You're showing up. You're giving your all. And yet, no results. This is where most people quit. But if you keep believing in the unseen, if you hold your vision tight, the breakthrough will come. Progress often hides before it explodes. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep walking. Chapter 12. Trust the delays. Sometimes the delay isn't denial. It's divine protection. Maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe there's something better coming. Maybe this season is preparing you for more than you can currently carry. Faith doesn't just trust the blessing, it trusts the timing. Be patient. Be faithful. Great things take time. Chapter 30. Faith is the foundation of resilience, discipline, and struggle. Go back to the beginning of your journey. The struggles you faced, the discipline you built, the resilience you grew. What carried you through it all? Faith. Faith that the pain had a purpose. Faith that your effort wasn't wasted. Faith that something better was coming, even when you couldn't see it. This is the final piece. The power behind every step you've taken. Conclusion: one more step, and one more forever you've struggled. You've endured. You've stayed disciplined. And now, you believe. This is what separates the few from the many. Faith that doesn't give up, even when the finish line is hidden. So, when it hurts, take one more step. When you're afraid, take one more step. When you're tired, alone, unsure, and broken, take one more step. Because you never know when the next step is the one that changes everything.